Okay, the next image that we're going to draw is this object here. It's kind of an interesting object. It doesn't have a hole in it, but it has this cool channel going through it. Kind of made up of little blocks here in the top. But overall, kind of an interesting shape. We're going to call this the front view. Again, the front view is the longest view and the view with the most detail. And normal resting position, but we're just going to give it to you and say this is what we want to be the front of this image. I've actually drawn this a little bit larger so you can see what the final product will look like, and you can see the front view here with the notch, and then the top view, you can see it, and then the right side view. So let's get started with our smaller image. And so I just have a sheet here, and it really doesn't matter which one of these I work on right now. So we'll just start this, and the first thing we're going to do, like we've been doing on these drawings, is block in the object. Basically get a shape that is going to fit this image in proportion. So I'm just going to start by sketching. And again, I want to be neat, and I want to use construction lines. I kind of want to use this box to make it somewhat big in this box. Just makes it easier to draw. It's not so tiny. So I want to use this full, as much of the shape as I can. I have to kind of estimate on the height of this to kind of keep it in proportion. So I'm going to go something like that. Remember, if you're not happy with something, you can always erase it and go back and do it again. So I'm going to make this the rectangle that's going to house this front view. And just by having this one view in, I now know something about the top view. I know that the top view is always the same length as the front view, so I can project these lines up. And I know that the height of the front view and the height of the right side view are always the same. Just like that. Now, before I go any further, I actually need another piece of information. I need to know something about how far back this object goes. And so looking at our shape that we're going to draw gives me some idea of the depth of this object. So I know that it has to fit in between these two lines. So all that I'm going to do now is just sketch something that I think is a good proportion for the depth of this. And I'm just going to kind of clean it up a little so you can see the two views, top and front. And now my right side view. I need to get the information from this top view to this right side view. And you should know that whatever the depth of the top view is, if you look at the distance between my fingers, whatever the depth of this is, the depth is identical in the right side view. So that's what this reflection line is for. I'm just going to take these lines here and transfer them over to the reflection line. And as soon as they hit the reflection line, I'm going to bring them straight down. So now I have a rectangle that's going to fit. I'm just getting rid of some of these projection lines because I don't want to confuse myself. So I have something that looks like that. Okay? And now we're ready. We basically have three rectangles that are going to house the front, the top, and the right side of this object. So as we get started with this, the first thing we need to do is just start to look at what has to be cut away, what has to be done here. Well, I do see something kind of interesting right here where this dips down. I'm going to draw a line all the way across to start, but you know, there's different ways to start this drawing. But I'm just going to go part way, draw a line line across like that. And when I look up here, just to kind of get an idea of what the shape looks like, you can see that this is kind of a square here and here. And so I want to anticipate approximately where this would be. So when I look at this image, I'm going to break it up here and just kind of make this distance and this one here about the same. 2 blocks. Kind of like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this image right down like that. I now need to get this little notch in here. And this notch is going to go somewhere from here, from this edge, over. So I'm just going to make my notch something like this. I know that this is gone. It's gone out of here. And this is going to come back. And this whole corner is gone. When I look down here, I see that there's some space left right here. I don't have any space on mine, so I'm going to draw that line in. And when you look, it kind of makes sense here what I'm looking at. I see this line as this line. Here's the bottom. It's all the way up. A lot of little ups and downs on this one. And all I'm doing right now is just kind of darkening in my lines a little bit. And this part right here is actually this right here. That's what that part is. This is this. So hopefully you can see that. Okay. I think that looks pretty good for the front view. And now I need to get some of this information up to the top view. So when you look at the top view, look at all these lines that we can draw. And some of these lines are coming from right here. So we're going to take this and we're just going to transfer lines up. Just like we did the edge here, we're going to transfer this line up. A little messy there. We're going to transfer this line up. This is the channel in the top view. Okay. And we're even going to bring this up, although some of this is going to get erased. Now you actually need more information. We don't really know everything that's happening in here until we look and get more information from the top view. So when we look at this top view, okay, and I'm just kind of adjusting some of my lines a little bit. But when I look at this top view, I see two squares here, one here and one here. So, and this section looks like it's split in half right down the middle, this line right here. So I'm going to kind of find middle of this, and I'm going to sketch a line. It looks like that. And now I see that this is gone. So when you look, I have 2 points here, 2 squares here, and a long rectangle here. And this channel looks like it goes all the way across, skips over the part that we notched out, goes right here. So when I look at this top view now, this is what I see. I'm going back and I'm turning these sketch lines, these construction lines, into visible lines. Okay. That is actually the top view of this object, or a representation. This is this here. These two squares are these two squares. This is the channel, although you don't know it's a channel from the top view. You actually need the front view to tell you that. From the top view, it just looks like two lines. And then I have these two pieces here. So now I have to finish the right side of this object. So we have some lines that we have to transfer over from the top view. We've already transferred these two to give us the depth, but it looks like we have to transfer this line right here to the right side view. So if you look at this here, we're going to take this line, which is right here, and we're going to transfer it over. And as soon as it hits the reflection line, we're coming straight down. Once that's done, we have to